put up the water tanks with the JCB. Put in the water pipe. So we've got the water pipe coming from the borehole, fill the tanks, and we'll have one coming down, splitting off to two. One going on the right side of the property and another main going on the left side of the property. And this should give us a lot of head for this property. The towers are 6 meters tall. We made them ourselves. We don't like to buy them locally because they're often not welded properly or they use substandard steel to save money. So when we build them ourselves, we know they're done correctly. They're sitting on hardwood base, which means termites can't eat it, and they last for many years, those planks. Each 5,000 litre tank, so there's 10 tons up there. So it's like five family cars will be sitting up there when it's full. So doing proper fabrication on the water towers is really important. And often in this part of the world you see water towers collapsing because there's no concept of how much the weight is that's going on top of those things. So yeah, this is coming on really well. You can see behind us he's filling in the backfilling. This is about 200 meters down to the borehole with an elevation of probably 30 feet. We're just finishing off this manhole cover here. There's a 110 going this side, and then the 200 mil will continue up past the garage here. The JCB did this earlier with very little effort. Yeah, this is, a week for guys to dig, and yet he did it in half an hour. So the machine is the key to doing things quickly. It doesn't cost that much money. Definitely the way to go. So that will be mains water coming down, as well as the septic pipe. You can see how the guys are unrolling the poly pipe. This is the only way to do it. If you pull it out like a slinky spring, you'll have this type of coil and it's a nightmare to get rid of. If you unroll it on the coil, only way to do it, and it works perfectly and lays down flat. Very important. This property, there's water just pouring out of a pipe in the middle of the property. This is through galvanized pipes. We don't know where the pipes are. There's plastic, there's iron, there's galvanized, there's all sorts of pipes under the ground, and it's all over the place. There's no plan, and there's no historical note of where any of this stuff is. Like any property that's been built bit by bit over 80 or 100 years, you just have stuff everywhere. So the best thing to do is leave the old stuff in the ground, put new stuff in, leave the old stuff in the ground, bypass it all, and then you've got a system, you know where everything goes. Somebody uses the loo, you know where that's going to, and you can deal with it. At the moment, if somebody goes to the loo on this property, we have no clue where it's going, which is not ideal. So this is one of the pipes we're putting in. It goes up the side of the house. At the moment you can see the water system, which is galvanized with some steel fittings. And then you've got here, you've got an old asbestos waste pipe, an old manhole cover here. So we're basically, we leave a lot of it in there. We're not going to chase it and try and pull it out. It's time consuming. So we put in these plastic pipes, leave the old stuff in there, cover it over, make it nice, make it look nice, and that's it, good to go. So here we are at the famous septic tank and soakaway in front of the main door of the property. What we've done is we've taken a 110 mil pipe off our main line, brought it up through past the house, past the front door, and we're bypassing it around the side of the kitchen. And so this septic tank will then be knocked out, will then be filled where appropriate. This will all be paved here, and no more septic tank in front of the house. So that's the next thing. So this is one of the septic tanks at the property. There are 6 of these tanks in various degrees of neglect, and all of them are full of tree roots. There's a palm here, some bougainvillea, and the roots have completely invaded the tank. It's just not the right place for a tank next to a house. So we've taken all of the septic tanks, we've taken them all out, we're rerouting all the wastewater through plastic pipes and all of it into the new septic tank, which we'll show you in a minute. But if you have a close look into here, it's just absolutely full of tree roots. And this has probably happened over the last 40, 50 years that this has been here. We're going to break this out, and we've already taken out the lids, the septic tank lids, which are made of cast iron, and we'll repurpose those for our other septic tanks. If we look over here, this is the soakaway. And again, it's full of tree roots. It's very random next to the house, as are all of them. And so what's happened is the builders of this property, what they did is they built an extension, they built a toilet, and they opened up a hole just outside and put a septic tank. And we'll show you more of those just now. So this is the 110mm overflow pipe which goes into our soakaway. This pipe is just below the level of our baffle pipes, so there's no backing up of water through the pipes. Once the water overflows, it comes into the central baffle, which you can see here. Let me climb over there. This is our central baffle pipe. Now, what happens is the water falls down here. These are blocks with gaps in, so whatever happens, the groundwater rises or whatever, the water that we're putting into the ground can always flow into the pit, and the pit's full of rocks. Very big rocks to start with, getting smaller and smaller towards the top. What will happen next here is once this is topped off, we'll put a very strong dam liner across the top of it, cover it with soil, the actual excess laterite that came out of the pits, and then this here will have a manhole cover on, so if it's ever blocked up or there's a problem, we can access it. So let me talk a bit about the structure of the tank. So the ground is laterite, which is a very soft rock, fantastic to build things in. It's got great structure, but easy to dig, easy to shape. It doesn't collapse, so you can make very straight walls with it, even with an excavator. It's a lovely substance to dig in. Okay, so the tank is sitting on a 200mm base, which has a Comforce wire in it. And then the walls are 8-inch concrete blocks. And it's very important with this type of tank to fill the concrete blocks with concrete as you're building. We do that but to basically stop any porosity or water leaking into blocks and sitting in blocks and causing structural weakness. Once we've topped it off, we then plaster the inside so it's completely waterproof. There's no ability of water to go through the walls, so these are now sealed. And as you see, what we've done is we haven't filled the top concrete blocks with concrete, and the reason is once we do our shuttering and we do our final slab pour, those will fill up with concrete and will actually cause a structural lock-in with the walls of the tank. Extremely strong, brilliantly effective, and an excellent way to do a septic tank. This is one of the runoff tanks for outside of this room, and again it's full of roots, totally blocking up the toilet. And so if you use the toilet in this room, within 2 or 3 flushes or half a dozen flushes, it would actually be backing up because the pipes are completely full of tree roots. Again, I mean, this happens over a period of time, but this has never been maintained. But the house has been derelict for a number of years, and that's why this has got to this stage. We're going to break this out. The pipes in here are asbestos. We're going to break this out. We're going to put in brand new plastic pipes, all sealed with glue, glued together so the tree roots can't get into them. And then we're going to take out all of the asbestos pipes, but also all of the cast iron breather pipes as well. So we can see one of our excavators has gone and pulled this electrical power cable off. This is a 4-core armoured cable, very strong cable. It looks like probably a 32mm, I would guess, maybe a bit smaller. This is the main feed cable to the house.
house, and so we're going to come back to this. We're going to have to get a small extension, and we'll use 2 joining kits to repair this cable, and we'll show you that soon. So right now we're going to put tape on the ends of these cables to protect the workers, and come back to this just now and get it fixed so we've got power to the house again.